I learned many things little one shouldn't know, but I close.
Here we are.
Close my eyes.
This is a sacred Lamb song.
It's perfection.
Yeah.
It is perfection. I think for me personally, like everybody, you know, I tell everyone, I love Mariah. Oh, Mariah's my girl, like blah, blah, blah. Oh, what's your favorite Mariah song? Close my eyes. I'll say close my eyes instantly. You know, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I used to many, many years ago say, oh, I don't really have a favorite. But they're like, no, you have to have a favorite. You have to have a favorite.
Yeah.
So it's close my eyes. It's so amazing. So I tell people that now and they're like, oh, I've never heard it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's on her Butterfly album. And they're like, oh, is that the one with Breakdown? And I'm like, yeah, that one. They're like, oh, okay. No one I tell this is my favorite song, no one knows it. So I'm
Except Lambs.
Except Lambs.
Yeah.
But like nobody else knows it. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because they don't need to know it.
No, it's fine.
Although if they would learn to know it, I bet it could help them heal. You know, it could be a nice therapy session for them.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Because that's what this song is.
Yeah. How would we describe it?
This is how I describe. Okay, let me tell you how I describe it to all these people. They're like, "Oh, I've never heard that song." Tell me all about it. And I'll be like, "Well, it's very introspective. It's about Mariah's life, growing up to you know her mid to early 20s, and it's a melodic ballad because I think what drives this song outside of the lyrics or outside of the chorus are the la da 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 das. You know what I mean? And that really drives it, and that's what catches you. At least for me, like those beautiful doo-doo-doo-doos. Yeah. I don't even know what you would call them. What would you call those? A melodic something? She's just basically humming a melody.
Yeah. But the way she does that, I feel like it creates the flow of the song.
Of course.
Because we're floating through clouds right now.
Yeah.
This whole song, we're just floating through the clouds. We're on a boat somewhere.
Yeah, just floating around. And that's so ethereal.
Yeah, but that's exactly what she paints with her voice.
Of course.
That scene.
Okay, so let's just, I guess, get right into these lyrics.
Yeah.
Because that's just what you have to do with this song.
Well, I think the premise of the song is like she's looking back, sitting in the boat, floating in a dream, looking back at her life.
Yes.
And
that's
again,
exactly what it is.
Writing in her diary. We're reading it. And she's just letting us know where she's at right now. How she got here.
How did she get all of this?
Yeah.
How her life has changed.
She has said that she actually wrote this song after her big Thanksgiving special at Madison Square Garden.
No, Proctor's Theater.
Proctor's Theater.
Which is upstate. Which is where she used to live.
Which was broadcasted on NBC
for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But it's really called Here Is Mariah.
Right.
Here Is Mariah.
On the DVD?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I always go, but it's the Thanksgiving special.
Yeah.
I started writing it 4 years ago after my NBC special, which was basically the first full-on concert that I'd ever done. And I was sitting in the bathtub actually looking at the moon, and this thought kind of came to me. The song just came to me, and it was me sort of reflecting on my life and things that had led me to that point. And it was sort of a momentous occasion. I wrote this thing and I was just looking back and wow, I've really come a long way. And then I put the song away. So the song sort of embodies a lot of my life and a lot of things that I went through over the past couple of years.
So it sort of came together. And then the fact that it took her, I mean, she had written the melody of this and some of the lyrics, and then she put it away.
Yeah.
So I feel like she knew that this was a song that needed more time, because she felt like this was something deep inside of her, and it took more time for it to come out. She had to go through a little bit more, like a divorce and all of these things.
But at that time, she wasn't doing these kind of personal songs on albums.
Correct.
So she probably wasn't allowed to even think about putting it on.
Well, yeah, but if you look at Daydream, if she could get Looking In on, she could have got this on, but this wasn't ready yet. It wasn't ready yet.
Yeah. But she had to slide that one in, remember?
Looking In. Yes, of course.
So it just wasn't... Butterfly is the perfect fit for it.
It's the perfect fit for it. Absolutely. Yeah. I agree.
Yes.
But I think if she really wanted it to be out before then, she would have finished it and she would have put it on Daydream. But she didn't.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
It would have been weird on Daydream, though.
Well, of course. Any song from Butterfly would have been weird on Daydream, I think.
Yeah.
It just wasn't that. Just like any song from Daydream would have been weird on Music Box, too.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah.
Most of her albums are like that, or at least in the early part. Nowadays, you can sort of
mix and match.
You can mix and match some of her more recent albums.
Yeah.
Maybe, Charm Bracelet and those other ones.
Yeah.
But this is my favorite song. Okay, what are the first lyrics? The first lyrics we hear, I was a wayward child.
Yes.
Now,
with the child had the weight of the world on their shoulders.
Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I relate to these lyrics 1,000,000,000,000%. And I think, even though I'd been a Mariah fan from day one, hearing her sing about, dream lovers and fantasies, this and that, and blah, 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 and One Sweet Day. And I really, really loved Mariah. But it wasn't until maybe One Sweet Day. And well, I loved Make It Happen. Make It Happen was my jam too. My personal, it was almost like a
anthem
for me. So that, and then One Sweet Day was emotional. But this one, I was like, this is it. This bitch really gets me.
Right.
I can't believe it. I thought it was just me and my two brothers and my family going through these crazy things.
Yeah.
And then this song sort of let me know oh my God.
Everyone has these.
Everyone has these, and if Mariah feels like a wayward child with the weight on her shoulder, well, Jesus, so do I.
Yeah.
It was so. This is the song that really made me feel the deepest connection to her personally.
I think me too, because when I went back and dug up the Butterfly album and came across this song, it was the same feeling. Oh my gosh, she feels these things as well.
I mean, literally, I felt like everything in this song, I still to this day feel like everything in this song, it could be my story. This is straight out of my autobiography. Obviously, Mariah had a very different childhood, but you know how Oprah sort of says, all pain is the same.
Yeah.
You're whether, you spilt a glass of milk or your dog got run over by a car. The feeling of pain is all the same sort of thing with love. It's just one feeling. So you either love something or you don't. It's either you're hurt by something or you're not. And so even though we had different upbringings and she had craziness and I had craziness and we could, compare stories all day, but the feeling of feeling like a wayward child with the weight of the world, that is hurt and pain. So it's that's an instant connection.
Yeah, but that can apply to anyone who is not, air quotes, normal.
Of course.
Anyone who has something different about them, whether they're gay, a real artist who just thinks about music all day long, can't concentrate in school, whatever it is. Everyone has has this feeling inside of them of being wayward. Not being normal. Right.
I think that's why a lot of people relate to this song, obviously.
Yeah.
But then the very next lyrics, what does she say? She says she held, that feeling deep inside, and life was a winding road.
Yeah.
So once again, we're going back to Mariah feeling like we were talking about this in Breakdown, how she is able to sort of just take it all in and act like it's not, she's not expressing her emotions.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you're going through, a difficult, abnormal childhood or, a dysfunctional childhood, you can learn to do that in a lot of aspects. So here she is again talking about, keeping these feelings inside. She wasn't letting them out.
Yeah.
Which is probably one of the main reasons why Mariah loves songwriting and making music nowadays, because that is her release. That is her therapy. That is what makes her feel, the weight of the world lifts off her shoulders because it makes her happy.
Yeah. Well, she can put language to it and just express it and let people know about it.
Right. Yeah.
It's not stuck inside.
Because that eats you up.
Yeah.
You know? So this is why Mariah is the genius that she is.
Yeah.
And then life was a winding road, and I learned many things little one shouldn't know.
Yeah.
Mariah's referenced these types of things about her childhood many times. And just says that there was a lot of hecticness, craziness going on. And that can stem from, you know, being the product of a biracial marriage. It could stem from being, you know, living like a gypsy with her mother after her parents divorced and going from household to household and moving around, school to school. You know, it was just, it could be a multitude of things going on. And for a child, that's a lot.
Didn't her dog get poisoned or something?
Her dog got poisoned.
Yeah. And then, you know, you would ask, as a kid, you'll ask, why did that happen?
Right.
And then what's the explanation? Oh, married a black man.
Yeah, and
you're the child
like,
of that.
Wait, I don't get it. What's going on?
Like, what are you talking about?
Like, it's so
craziness.
It's absolute craziness. It's absolute craziness.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what it's like, you know, like, but again, like, crazy childhood is crazy childhood. And most people, I don't know, most people that I know, we all got issues, honey. We all got issues, but they don't have crazy issue childhoods. And I think Mariah had one of those.
I think most people probably have some sort of dysfunction, but it's not presented. When you move into the world, when you go to school, you don't want to appear as abnormal.
Oh, of course.
So I think what most people get presented is just a facade of what's really going on in the family.
Oh, absolutely. Of course. You know, you don't ever want to be like, you know, that family that's like, those bitches over there. They got the problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's, you know.
I think most people can relate to this song in some way or another.
Yeah, I think, yes. Also, as the lyrics go on in the story, if you can't relate to a wayward childhood or the life of a winding road, there's something else in this song that you're going to be able to relate to, because it just happens that, like, Mariah had all of these things. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, who has all of these things?
And who has them all and also rises up out of it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I think the point is, like, with her sharing this story, it just shows you that it doesn't matter what your dysfunction was or is, you can navigate it.
Right.
Navigate,
you know, with determination.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of times Mariah was like, you know, growing up, I had an example of what I did not want to be.
Yeah.
Which was other people in her family, like, I don't want to be like that, so I'm not going to do those things.
Yeah.
And I think that was like, you know, most people, they're like, I want to be like my mom or my older sister. I love her so much. She's this, like, that's my example. That's my inspiration. Like, I look up to these people. Mariah didn't have that. She had the opposite.
Right.
Like, my older sister is a crazy bitch and I don't want to be like her. So I'm going to do the exact opposite. And I think that is something that not everybody has.
Right.
You know, like they have that older person. They have that family member
they look up to.
A lot of people don't have that. I don't have that.
I don't have that either.
I don't have that. I was like, oh no, ma'am. I'm not. Y'all crazy bitches?
Yeah.
Oh no, not me. Oh, no, ma'am.
No, I'm totally in the same boat. Like, my parents, I'm like, I do not want to be like them.
Yeah.
Not for a
gosh,
second.
Please, no.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard because, like,
That's
they're the ones
know.
that raise you, and you're like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? Because all I know is what my parents taught me.
Yes.
And if my parents didn't teach me anything, then here I am, alone in this world with nothing being taught to me.
Yes.
And you have to, like, forge out on your own.
Thank God for Oprah, though.
Thank God for Oprah and Mariah, for real.
Yes, I know. Did the raising.
Okay, so then the chorus of the song is where she gets to closing her eyes, because I feel I can just, when she gets to the chorus and she says, but I close my eyes, steady my feet on the ground, raise my head to the sky, and let times roll by.
This is where she centers herself.
It's like a calming meditation moment.
Yep.
You know, it's like all of this has happened to me.
Yeah.
I've struggled so much, and now I'm in this different lifestyle. I'm working, but it's okay. Like, everything is fine, no matter what is going on. And still back in these days, Mariah did have a lot of family drama going on. Like, even today she does.
20 years on.
But when Mariah was writing this song, she was still in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Like, she hadn't sort of broken fully away from those, maybe not just her family members, but even friends or family friends that were, or dads that were still sort of like trying to manipulate and use her because now she's this big star. So I feel like that has a lot to do with it as well.
More money, more problems.
Always. Always. But I love this chorus and still, I feel like a child as I look at the moon. Maybe I grew up a little too soon. Exactly what I'm thinking. Like, I feel like when Mariah was young, after the divorce and things, her siblings being 10 years older than her, out the house, living their own life, she was almost like an only child. And her mother did everything she could to help and support and do this and that, but they were still struggling. Yeah,
well, Mum's at work all day long, probably all night long as well, trying to get money coming in. So she's probably just on her own in the house.
And so you as a child, you feel like, oh, I'm the parent here. I'm the one in charge. And I relate to that fully as well, because that was me. I was like, when you're a latchkey kid and then you got like, brothers and this, that, and the other, it's all like, girl, bitch, I didn't want to be nobody's mama.
Yeah.
Why I got to be your mama?
Yeah.
I didn't do this. You ain't mine.
Yeah.
Why am I worried about you?
Yeah.
Then we go into verse 2.
This is the good one.
This is the good one.
Yeah. How it's this is what I love.
It's real funny now, right? It's real funny.
Is good. Okay, because it's funny how one can learn to grow numb to the madness.
I left the worst unsaid, let it all dissipate, and I tried to forget.
And it's so true. That's what happens, though. In the dysfunction, it just becomes normal.
It becomes normal, and it's like, oh, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
But it's actually not normal.
It's completely abnormal and not healthy.
Yes.
Mentally.
Yes.
Probably physically as well. Like in a lot of people's cases, I don't know what kind of, dysfunction was in Mariah's home, but I'm sure when there's mental dysfunction, there's probably physical, dysfunction as well. So, and, God knows what Mariah's sister claims on things, but that's her story.
Yeah.
Mariah's story is what she tells us through her music.
But even the fact that she can write those lyrics means that she's kind of waking up out of it.
Yes, exactly.
And realizing that, okay, there are problems here that need to be fixed.
Right. But going through it, and I think growing up, is this second verse. It blocked it all away. I left the worst unsaid, let it all dissipate, and I try to forget. See, I think that's Mariah going back to her defense mechanism.
Yeah.
That she has learned growing up, because I think, here she is in the mid to early 90s writing this song.
In her mid-20s?
Mid-20s. Yeah. She's like, 23, 24.
Starting to write it. Yeah.
Starting to write it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she's used these same defense mechanisms that she used to block things away as a child. She's probably using as a young adult in her first marriage as well, because it's what you know best.
You're right.
When you grow up dysfunctional, you almost, and I think even nowadays, with the chaos that Mariah surrounds herself with, it's because she's so used to chaos.
That's normal for her.
It's normal for her.
Yeah.
Which is an unhealthy thing, but it takes, people got to do it on their own. They got to come out of that on their own.
Right.
And sometimes you come out of it and then you go back into it.
Straight back into it, yeah.
It's like, this cycle, this life cycle that you sort of need.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I'm in this dysfunction, so let me heal myself, take myself out. But then, right down the road, around the corner, you're back into it again, because in another way, shape, or form.
Well, she mentioned this when she did an interview, I think with Complex magazine, post the divorce. Maybe Mia and Mariah had come out already, but she was talking about divorcing Nick, and she said she was thinking to herself, good one, you just repeated your past. Whether that be her parents' marriage, because she was the kid in this divorced family, or the Tommy situation. But she was like, I just did it again, unintentionally.
But it happens somehow because you I don't know why or how, but it just happens. It's just that natural instinct. It's hard to break that. It's very hard to break that cycle.
Because you go numb to the madness.
Right.
You're not feeling the madness.
You're not feeling it because, it's like, oh, I'll put that on the back burner for now.
Yeah.
And then it's back there on the burner, burning the house down.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It happens. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
But, you have to be aware of it.
Yes.
You don't forget that it's there. Yeah. So when that little fire does start, you put it out right quick.
Uh-huh.
But you can't just forget it.
Yeah.
But it's really hard and it takes time. You got to grow up. You got to learn. You got to, adjust.
But you have to know that you're in it. That's the first step.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're in it, and then you got to figure out how to get out of it.
Right.
Which is also another difficult thing to do.
Right. Because here's the thing. It's like when you're in it, you can know you're in it. Some people don't want to admit that they're in it, but then you find out you're in it, and whatever situation it might be, you're in it. Now you want to get out of it. Well, some situations you're stuck.
Yeah.
It's going to be a year before you can get out of this. It's almost like turning a barge around in the water.
Yeah.
It takes forever, honey. If that barge goes off track to turn it back, oh girl.
Yeah.
You could be waiting here for years.
Yeah.
Because you cannot fix things with the snap of a finger.
Right.
They are continuing, ongoing, and then you just have to maintain. You have to stay on top of it to make sure it doesn't burn the house down.
Uh-huh.
So, it's not easy. It's a process.
I'm going through this right now with my mother. She's having a major mental health issue, and it's just gotten worse and worse. But now in hindsight, look, and this has been going on for decades now. Right. Now in hindsight, I'm like, oh my gosh, we'll just numb to the madness of it. And she has really erratic behavior that's really bad. Everyone around her was ignoring it, but now
they're like,
just recently, well, everyone's still ignoring it, but I'm on the outside of it now, going, this isn't normal, people, and no one's helping.
Hello,
and no one's helping too. So it's like, okay, how do I navigate this? And that's what she's doing. This is what Maria's talking about. Like, you just grow numb to it. Now you're aware of it. Now you can start to fix it.
Right.
That's what she's trying to tell us.
It takes time. It takes time. That's why this song took so long, because I think she was still, while she was writing it, she felt, oh my God, I'm still, even though I'm not where I was once, emotionally, I think I'm not where I need to be. Yeah. Maybe that's why she had to put it away. And then obviously after the divorce and sort of finally coming out of it and being her own free young self, it was perfect for Butterfly.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But those lyrics are left the worst unsaid. That's what people do. They just don't talk about they don't talk about the madness.
They don't talk about the madness.
That's how you get stuck in it.
And that's the problem. People don't want to, they don't want to, what am I trying to say? They don't want to approach the conversation and have that talk or what needs to be said. And sometimes you just can't help it. It just needs to happen and things need to change. Whether they're, divorces or whatever they might be, they're just situations that need to change and nobody wants to talk about it. You just can't do it because eventually
it eats you up.
And then other things start happening and then it's a snowball effect. Yeah. All the way through. So now let's move on to sort of the bridge version of the song. Yep. Not the bridge version, but the bridge portion of the song. She says, nearing the edge, oblivious, I almost fell right over. A part of me will never be quite able to feel stable. So, okay.
I read this, I think it's in the book. There's a book called 1000 Albums You Have to Listen to Before You Die. And Butterfly's in it.
I would hope so.
And it says something along the lines of, the breakdown of the album said something along the lines of, this is where Carrie goes hip hop and yada, 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 and dabbles in suicide.
Yes. That is an interesting thing here.
Thank
I don't find this song to be like suicidal per se, but I see what they mean because Mariah was, nearing the edge.
Yes.
She was oblivious.
Yes.
Because she's been blocking it all away.
Yeah.
It's almost like I don't think this is Mariah saying, oh, I was, on the edge of ending my life. I feel like she was like on the edge of her sanity.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which is the same thing. Like you're losing your mind. You're losing yourself.
You can feel it.
You can feel it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because things are not in balance.
Yeah.
Things are not harmonious.
The stress is building up.
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming too much. And it slowly gets there.
Right.
It doesn't happen overnight. You don't wake up and there's a problem. Like it slowly was there, so you're oblivious to it happening.
Right.
There's a saying, to kill a frog, if you boil the water and throw the frog in, it will jump straight out.
Okay.
But put the frog in the cold water and turn the heat on, it will slowly get hot,
right,
and cook it. So that's what happens.
That's sort of how they do lobsters too, but the other way around.
You throw it straight in and kill it.
Well, no, I think you put it on ice.
But a lobster's not going to jump
put it to sleep, and then you throw it in the you freeze it, then you throw it in the hot water.
But it's that concept of turn the heat on slowly, and it won't notice.
You won't notice the building up, and that it's about to happen,
and you're about to get cooked.
That's exactly what sort of is going on in this bridge of the song.
Yeah, the madness just slowly, the craziness just slowly crept,
mm-hmm.
where she almost fell right over the cliff or whatever, or what have you.
Right.
The metaphoric cliff.
Right. The metaphoric cliff.
Mm-hmm.
But she says here, she knows she will never be able to be quite stable because there's so many things in her that is just like, but like I'll never be quite able to feel stable.
Yeah.
I was on the verge of fading. Thankfully, I woke up in time. And that is all you really need in order to sort of stay focused is to be aware and be awoken to being in that boiling water.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's all you need. And with that, you can go on the right path. It might take time, but at least you're there and you're aware and you're not going backwards.
Exactly. Recognizing something has to change.
Right. And I think she's doing that here towards the end of the song, which then brings us into the sort of the other portion that comes next, the guardian angel.
Yeah, but hang on, just back to that last bit. This is kind of like the butterfly movement. She's like, okay, I have to get out of this. How do I do this? What does the butterfly do? It changes, it grows wings, and then it's out of there.
Right.
Goes, flies away.
Yeah, but it also sort of, well, yes, it is that caterpillar that goes into the cocoon, and into the cocoon is where, all the transition is going and all the, I guess, the growing goes, and that's where the changing and the emotional healing is sort of happening. And that's where I feel like that's this part of the song.
Exactly.
Or where she's like holding things in until like it's the moment to come out.
Yeah, but thankfully I woke up in time is I know I have to get out of here, out of this current situation, the Tommy situation or what have you. And so I'm going to do something about it.
Right.
I'm going to leave. I've made that decision. Now and then once you make that decision, you're going to feel better. Like, all right, I'm going to go. It's good. I'm going to go. And then you're like, once you start feeling good, then you're on the right track.
Exactly. And that's all it means. That's all it takes.
That's what she's telling us here.
On the right track.
Yeah, that's part of the butterfly movement that she's in the thick of right now in this album. When this album came out.
Yeah. I also, before we move on to the guardian angel part, the word, that woman child. Because she still sees herself as that child because of, the what is the word?
Dysfunction?
Because of the dysfunction in the family.
Yeah.
And she was a child being the adult, and now she's like the adult wanting to be a child. So there's that dichotomy there. And the fact that still to this day she refers to herself as a 12-year-old, I think has, I'm no professional mental head doctor, but that's an unhealthy thing to say.
Especially when you have
for a 47-year-old woman.
A little bit,
and I'm not, I'm just saying. It seems
cuckoo.
Weird.
Yeah.
It seems weird. But I'm not, I mean, you know, I love Mariah. I want nothing but the best for her. But I just feel like that just, because when you say that to people, I feel like they would look at you strangely and they'll be like, okay. But when she says it in this aspect, I get why she says those things. But I don't think the general public would be like, oh, you know, if you look at her life and the way things are, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But she's just up on their TV talking about, oh, I'm eternally 12. I don't celebrate birthdays. Yeah. It's like,
cuckoo,
cuckoo.
There was a period, maybe a couple of years ago now, where she just was always saying it. Yeah. I was like, okay,
it's just, girl, you sound crazy.
Crazy.
You sound crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all crazy. And I think I think Mariah said this quote. I could be lying, but, she said something like, we're all crazy. And if we don't think we're crazy, we're crazier than ever. Yeah. We are the craziest. So everybody's crazy. Everybody has their own mental hangups and issues and things. But
it's okay if you feel that. She can go ahead and feel that way.
Absolutely feel that all the way.
We don't need to tell everybody that listens.
As, you know, as a person who's on TV and things, it's just best for your overall image not to, you know, do things or say things that could harm it. That could make people look at you like you're crazy. You know what I mean? Because I sort of have that same thing. Like, I'm 35 years old, girl, but people would never know because I keep a young energy about me. Yeah. I also don't have a lot of wrinkles. I'm just saying. But you know what I mean? Like, people would never guess I was 35 years old because I don't carry myself like a 35-year-old.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
You know, I feel young. Yeah. I feel energetic, even though my old bones are tired. Yeah. But you know what I mean? I'm like, yes, girl. Yes, I'm like 26. You know, because it really is all about how you feel on the inside. Oh, totally. And I definitely don't feel like I'm 35. Yeah. But whatever. So I get it. Yeah. I just don't go around telling everyone with a sign saying it. But to each their own. That's just all in fun.
But, you know, it's just nice in Close My Eyes that she's expressing these things and letting us know what she's feeling on the inside. She isn't the princess in the castle.
Exactly. It's all a facade because all the money in the world, all the riches in the land cannot heal you emotionally, especially if you're from such a disjointed, dysfunctional childhood, because you have these walls built up that have been built up over years and years and years of dysfunction. And, you know, it's hard to break them down. Hard.
Yeah. But, look at how, in looking in, she painted the picture of looking at her image, that Mariah Carey, the superstar, from our point of view. Like, she's looking in at this person, and she knows that's not right. Right. She's like, that's not who I am. So come here to Close My Eyes. Now she's inside the house, and she's letting us see what's behind the glass, what's inside the door. She's showing us, she's like, no, this is who I really, really am. Right. Because I see what you're seeing, but now I want you to know what I'm really feeling. It's like she's the flip side of it.
Right. She's letting us look in.
Yes.
I love it.
Or pointing us in the right direction.
Yeah.
Showing us what to look at.
Right.
Because she saw the problem.
Oh, yes.
Everyone's looking the wrong way.
Like she says, thankfully I woke up in time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the guardian angel part of the song, which is another moment that gets me a little emotional in this song because it's my favorite song, and another reason why I can connect to every single lyric in every line of every word of this song. Guardian angel, I sail away on an ocean with you by my side.
Guardian angel, I sail away on an ocean with you by my side. Orange clouds roll by, they burn into your image, and you're still alive as a ghost. You're always alive, my guardian angel. But I still feel like a child as I look at the moon.
Love that.
Well, this particular part of the song is the most visual and beautiful songwriting she's ever done.
Yes.
Because it puts you in such a... It's almost like when she described it's not raining yet, it's kind of misty on warm November. It takes you there. takes you
literally takes you there, and you not only feel it, but you see it.
Yes.
And it's so good. And then, I just feel like she's speaking of a guardian angel. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like who did Mariah lose in her life that is like her guardian angel? Or like people could even be like, it's God that she's talking to. It's just so much emotion in this little part right there. And the fact that she's like, and you're still alive, like the energy of you is still there, which could, again, be God. It could be a person that she's lost. It could be all of these things. To each person, it could be very different. Yeah. But I think that is another emotional aspect of this song. And I relate to it because, when I was growing up in my dysfunction, I always had my grandmother. Like, she was like the one that was like, no, like your parents are not teaching you well. This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to school. You're supposed to do all these things. Like, she was like my inspiration and like my guardian. To teach me all these things that my mother couldn't teach me because she didn't have any clue.
Right.
So like, and then my grandmother passed away in 95, like 2 days before the Daydream album came out. No. So I was like, oh Lord. And then I heard One Sweet Day and I was oh Lord, why'd you do this to me?
Yeah.
But it was very interesting because I felt like, oh my God, I lost this, like my only guiding light.
Yeah.
Like Mariah was like my next guiding light, Mariah and Oprah.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay. But then when I heard this song, I was like, I didn't know what was going on in my life for like 2 years. And then when I heard this song and she's talking about this guardian angel and it's still being around and still being alive, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I can still, because in our family, we didn't speak of my grandmother's death. Nobody spoke of emotions. Nobody cried. Nobody was allowed to do these things. Like, you just didn't do that. So when I went to my grandmother's funeral service, girl, I was standing up there by the casket and my ass fainted.
Oh, no.
I was out cold, girl, because I didn't know what to do because nobody ever taught me how to deal with emotions.
Right.
So anyways, long story short, when this verse or bridge or section of the song came up, I was like, oh my God, like this, I so feel this.
Yeah.
And it like, it just means so much.
Because it
changed my life. It's sort of like, it took me out of like that depression as a young, like whatever, 13-year-old. And I'm like, oh, I can go on in life and just use these tools that she's given me.
The energy
and
still
carry
there.
that because it's still there.
It's still
like
inside
she's
of you.
Already given me everything I need.
Yeah.
So it was like, that was huge for me. It was life changing. That's, I think, why I still have this major connection to the song. So just saying.
Well, I think that's exactly what the meaning of these lyrics are.
Right. And I would be interested to know who that person was for Mariah. Was it a grandmother? Was it aunt or uncle? Was it like, who was that? So that's just fascinating. That's why she fascinates me. And that's why I love this song.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
I think every time I see a sunset, because in Sydney where I'm from, I have a beach not far from where I live, and has the most beautiful sunsets in the summertime. And every time it happens, I'm like singing Close My Eyes in my head.
Yeah, because
and I'll play it even on my speakers.
It's that vision she put in your head that you just cannot erase.
Yeah.
With this song. It's so beautiful.
And it's a particular time of day as well when the sun is setting and it sets the clouds on fire. They all go orange and they're floating by. It's a real cleansing moment in the day. Because the sun's going down, the day is ending, a new day is coming.
Yes. It's almost like a cleansing or a refreshing moment. So I just love this song. And we cannot end this conversation without talking about the best performance of this song ever, which was on Rosie O'Donnell.
100% the best.
100% the best. I could live off of that version for the rest of my life.
I think I might like it better than the album version. Even though I love the album version, but I like the rawness in her vocals in this. She's never done it as good since, because she did it on the Butterfly Tour.
She does it, she did it on Butterfly Tour. She's done it in a couple shows. She did it most recently
in the Triumphant Tour.
In Australia. maybe even somewhere else recently, but none of them compare to that Rosie performance.
There's something about the Rosie one.
There's just something about it. And because this is so melodically driven, such a melodic song, it's hard to recapture that. And I feel like Mariah did it beautifully on Rosie.
Yeah, but her voice seems heavier on the Rosie version. There's more density to the song, which makes it richer in the emotion. It just sounds more pure.
Yeah, I think so too. That's why I love it. But I love the album version. I love this live version. I just love this song overall.
Yeah, it's definitely. I wonder. Do you think you can be a lamb and not like this song?
Good question.
You would have to. You have to like it, right?
You have to sort of like it. It doesn't have to be like, like your go-to emotional song. You have to. First of all, if she could just sit there and sing la da 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 all damn day, and you don't like that, then something's wrong with you. You could be a lamb, I suppose, because I'm not, the lamb master. But I would definitely be giving you the side eye.
A side eye.
Oh, if you don't get the la da 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 and don't think that's beautiful, something's wrong with you, girl.
Maybe a side eye. Yeah,
they just get a side eye.
All right. But I think everybody listening to this has their own story they can relate to this
connection, and that's why it's one of Mariah's most beloved.
Yeah, it's also one of the most abstract songs on the album.
Correct.
It's very a lot of metaphors, and it's not to the point.
Exactly.
Open to interpretation.
Exactly. Open just enough. Just enough. She's still giving us so much of herself, but it's open just enough so that everyone can put themselves in there.
Exactly.